Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch What Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the app today. Well, hello and welcome to the Watch What Crappens bonus episode. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben over there. Hello, Benoons.
Hi, Rondell. How are you?
Good. What's going on with you today? Are you still in the fetal position?
I finally uncoiled my legs from my chin out of the fetal position of the scandal that has rocked Bravo over the past few days. How about you?
Everybody, welcome to the bonus. A lot of you do not listen to our bonuses because this is normally only on Patreon, but we cannot do a bonus about a story this epic and not share it with the masses. So if you like this, just come to our Patreon. We do this every week about different subjects. Yeah. Sometimes it's literally about toasters. Okay? This is just the part where we have fun and chat on the phone with each other. So patreon.com/watchwhatcrappens. And thank you everybody who is already a supporter. We love you. Okay, so this is like a 9/11 moment. Okay? This is emotional terrorism. Okay, and I'm not minimizing terrorism, okay? No. I'm just saying this is a moment. I was emotionally terrorized, okay? I will always remember where I was when I heard about the planes flying into Tom and Ariana. Like, how dare you? I was in the car going around a traffic circle. I was very upset about traffic circles in general. I was like, these don't make any sense. And the most aggressive person always wins in a traffic circle. And I think it's unfair. I think that it's unfair that people who like try to be safe and not hurt themselves or other people are punished in a traffic circle. That's what I was thinking. And then I started hearing bloop, 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 bloop.
Right.
Literally, my phone was going crazy. And it felt like when 9/11 happened, I was coming back from the country. I was in the country with a friend, and I was driving back into civilization, and both of our phones started going bloop, 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 as everybody tried calling us because we were living in New York at the time. Mm-hmm. So that's what hit my brain. All these bloops. I was like, what has happened? Like, what? Oh, no. I was like, it's another world-changing event. And so I pressed play, on the CarPlay, you just hit one and it just starts playing all the messages. And so Siri delivered me the news from all of our commentator friends, all of my real friends, all of our pretend friends we see once every 5 years, like whatever. She just started reading it like this. Tom and Ariana have split because she's in an Aussie accent as done by Siri.
You have, I have to say, that day, first of all, that's hilarious. Like, one of my favorite things is when I'm driving is I'm on several group chats, and if the texts are going in strong, I like to wait like 5 minutes and then have Siri read them, because when Siri reads the whole conversation in that like monotone, emotionless voice, it's really kind of the best thing ever. So I can't imagine hearing the Tom and Ariana. Katie says, fuck Tom forever. Ronnie says, I know, this is crazy. Yes. Katie says, I can't believe it. Ronnie reacted with an exclamation point.
And people are going off in paragraphs, like whole paragraphs. Yeah. So and me too, I was monologuing and Siri's getting half my words wrong. I'm like, I don't fucking believe this. This is, some made up bullshit for ratings. I'm not going to believe it until this is proven otherwise. That was my first reaction. I literally could not believe it.
I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. The thing is this, I was lying on my sofa. Last week I had this cold. It's almost all gone. I have like a little cough now, for those who are wondering. Thank you. But on Friday, the cold was giving like one last big gasp, and I sort of had a headache. I was tired. I was lethargic, and we'd had really the prior 10 or honestly like 14 days for the two of us were very rigorous. We did the crappies. We did a Phoenix show. We really didn't get any time to sort of like recover from the crappies. And for me personally, I had that wretched blackout for 48 hours, and it just was like nonstop. And so Friday was the first day I really felt like I had gotten to exhale in a while. And I was just lying there on that sofa with my cold, headache, tired, just like, And then the text came through from you. Only you, by the way. I just want to point out, I had the exact opposite experience. Like, no one texted me.
Well, I think this is
So,
why, because
you
I
told
noticed,
me, and I was like, what is Ronnie talking? You were like, hey, Ben, did you hear that rumors that Ariana and Tom broke up? I was like, what's Ronnie talking
but
about? He's
what I
crazy.
think that also, I should look for that text, but I don't want to have dead air. But I also think that text made no sense because I did it through Siri, because I was hearing all these bloops, and then I Siri'd you, and then I read it later, and it made little to no sense. Where is this? Hold on, let me see.
I'm scrolling too.
Where
We have a lot of bullshit that we
should we
text
do an
about.
emergency podcast? You guys, there's like 20 pages of texting, by the way, here.
There's like a photo from Living Spaces.
So I said, first we had a meeting in the morning, and I said, and Ben didn't come because sometimes, we can split meetings up. And I said, you missed a real party. And then Ben said, I'm lying in bed listening to Linda Ronstadt. And I said,
That's true.
I love that for you so much. I hope you stay there for a while and enjoy your day. And you
That was
said,
part of my
thanks, it's
healing
overdue.
process. Yeah.
And then I said, I said below deck and summer house. Oh, the screeners.
We got the screeners.
And you said, we. And then I said, I just read on TMZ that Ariana and Tom broke up because Tom cheated with Raquel. What the hell? Oh, so it did get it.
It was pretty clean. And I said, what? And he said, my phone is blowing up like I'm the one that just got publicly cheated on. LOL, what the hell? And I'm just sitting there listening to Linda Ronstadt. I should have known. I think I actually caused it to happen. There's no way you can just like lie in bed and languish and listen to Linda Ronstadt without a relationship breaking up
We've
somewhere.
only just begun.
No, that's
Is that
that's
her?
the Carpenters.
Oh,
No,
God.
I was
Sorry,
listening to her
Karen.
Old Paint. It was like, no, I was listening. I listened to Old Paint, but I was listening to a duet with her and Dolly Parton. It's like called "I'll Never Love Again" or something.
Oh, yeah.
Just like like ah, na, 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 like two sad women. I should have known. I destroyed their relationship. I like somehow the universe was like, someone has played the Linda Ronstadt. It has been decided.
Wow. So, yeah, you did do it.
I did it. I apologize.
But I just
It's
like
not
to
very
say,
honest.
just so you don't feel bad that your phone wasn't blowing up. Here's why. Because I feel like you're a really good Bravo commentator. You're really good at like watching it and giving a measured opinion. I'm obsessed with the gossip, the conspiracy theory. So my friends and I text back and forth like,
Gotcha.
I don't believe this. Like, what do you believe about this Katie Renaissance? I'm not buying it. I think it's fake, and I think they're probably they're going to get back together in a year. This is just to get Katie fan. Like I'm that kind of texter. Oh, by the way, all of you who keep messaging me and saying, I guess this makes you like Katie more. What the fuck does this have to do with Katie? Get off my ass.
We're gonna address that entire section of
Okay.
that in one
Okay.
moment. Well, we have to go through this process,
I just
and then
got
we're gonna
myself
address
mad.
We're gonna address James and Katie and everyone.
Oh
and
yes,
everything,
I've got
okay?
all the
'Cause there's things to
articles
say.
here. Yeah.
There's things to say, but yeah, I was shocked, and then I went. You said I've seen on TMZ, and I went on to TMZ. It was the first thing there, and I was gobsmacked. And someone actually last night on Twitter, I think it was Twitter, tweeted at us and said, why do you think people are reacting to this differently than other cheaters on Bravo? And I think the reason why is because Tom and especially Ariana has been one of the rare Bravo stars who's been chill her entire tenure and has been just like really likable. And she seems like the most normal, like probably the most normal person on all of Bravo. And, people will all be like, yeah, well, Ariana is just sort of like, what, whatever on the show, but I think what people don't realize is how much they've grown fond of her in a weird way. And so to see how much that she went to bat for Raquel and has been such a good friend for Raquel and has been really supportive of Tom and his ventures. And it's just been like an overall chill, great person while juggling lots of like emotional baggage that she has. And she's shared her struggles with depression or anxiety. I think we all were like, what the fuck? No, we do not. This does not happen to Ariana.
Also, we like, obviously we like her in real life, so I guess we should,
Yeah, we should mention
we
that.
should
Like,
mention that.
it's a gray
We've gotten
area
in
for us a
trouble
little
for
bit.
that, in the past, like not speak,
not that
standing
it's a
up
gray
for
area,
someone
but
too too much
Yeah.
just because we like them or whatever. But I have to say, she's genuinely nice. And one of the first things I told her when we kind of friended out or whatever was, you know why I like you? Because you seem to know this is all bullshit. And it's
Yeah.
so refreshing, because I think on her I think in that whole world, nobody understands it's bullshit. Tom sure didn't. Tom is full of bullshit. He always has been. You know, he's always in it for the clicks and the likes and the. Before I met them through Crappens, I used to go to the Surly Goat down the street from me where I lived, and that's where I first met them. I didn't know I was meeting them. I was talking to Tom's guy friends or whatever. And then it turned out to be them. And I didn't say like, hey, I'm Ronnie. I have a podcast or whatever. He was just like, hey, bro, take a selfie of us. Put it on your Instagram. You know, tag me in your... And I was like, who is this douche? I talked about it on the show years ago. I was like, this guy's such a douchebag. But that's also where I met her. And she's just a nice person. Also, another difference between her being nice and seeming to know this is bullshit and sticking up for Raquel and everything that you just said. There's a difference between fucking around and getting caught and a full-on fucking affair with somebody who's pretending to be your friend right to your face while Tom is pretending to be your best friend right to your face. And they're doing all these secret things like wearing little lightning bolt necklaces that match as their secret code. I mean,
or like he dressed up like Raquel for Halloween. By the way, with this gossip, I've been reading everything, Ronnie. Don't you worry. I'm like very up to date. I think I'm up to date, but
I just got everything. Are you saying that because I just sent you the shared thing?
No, I didn't see the shared thing. Let me look.
I sent you a shared file of all the screenshots I've taken over the weekend of all the goss.
Oh, where is it?
I don't know. I shared it to your email. It should be in your messages.
Okay, I'll look. But either way.
But what were you saying before I cut you off as usual?
No, I was saying, you know, Sandoval dressed up like her for Halloween. I mean, there's a sordidness about this affair, admittedly. Like, this is not just like he's been cheating. It's like, okay, he's cheated. And it was someone on the friend group, which is also important. It's someone who Ariana has actually been very, you know, like has shepherded and has been like a mentor to. So it's even worse. And then it's someone who's also engaged in yet another love triangle with Schwartz. And now there's conspiracy theories that the Schwartz stuff was a cover up. Who knows? But in a weird way, I mean, because we know Ariana, there's like a sick part of me that's like, amused by like this ridiculousness, like Raquel as this person who just like she is going through this cast. It's like, whoa, like this is crazy. But I think it's ultimately disgusting. I think it's disgusting. I think that Sandoval and Raquel are both disgusting for this, but I put more blame on Sandoval because Raquel is disgusting because this is her friend and they're in a relationship, but ultimately he's the one in the relationship. And he should know better. And it's appalling. It's appalling. And he has this whole reputation. He's like the more of the nice guy on the cast. And he's the one who's like more thoughtful. And it's such a letdown. I think we're all just really let down and disappointed and frustrated.
Yeah, one of our friends was texted me. Let me look at this. Where is her text? I just thought it was worded. She says, you know, I'm really, where is it? What confused, I'm so fucking at a loss with this Sandy affair. And what confuses me most is why Schwartz has been covering for him to this extent, like regularly answering interview questions, standing next to Sandoval. I know Sandy could bury him if he wanted to, but this feels severe even for him. And I said they shared an apartment with Jax when they were like 18 until recently, and they were all man whores together and did drugs probably, etc. It's a special bond those few men share. And that is true. You know, when you, I stand by that one. I think when Katie walked into that situation when they were all roommates, and didn't she become their roommate? Wasn't she like their fourth roommate, or was she dating
something like
Schwartz?
that? I don't remember, but I think. Do you mind if I just actually circle back to clarify something I said, because I really don't want it to be misinterpreted?
Oh,
when I said that I I get some sort of like sick enjoyment, not enjoyment, but like about Raquel. I think what bums me out is that like Ariana is the victim in all this. Like if it had been a situation where it had been like Ashina or something like that, I would be like, oh, Raquel is so wrong for this, but there's something like darkly funny about like this is so Vanderpump Rules that there's this person who's now like flourished into this monster, just destroying all these relationships. But because it's Ariana who is really who's going to take the brunt of it, who's receiving all the hurt from it, and like by the way, generally in life, I'm not for people receiving hurt, even if it is like a Sheena or whatever. But what I'm saying is that like
fucking pain. That's what I say. Some people deserve to hurt. Okay.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that, like, because it's Ariana especially who is going to be on the receiving end of this, like, I can't even have my normal fucked up, Schadenfreude enjoyment of this messy ass situation, if that makes sense, Like, it sucks. It's so terrible.
Right. It's not the situation where you're passing around like, LOL, like making jokes with your friends all weekend about it. It was literally depressing. Okay. So of course, as I do with all of my time off, I'm on my phone looking at Bravo News. Like, I love it. So this was a huge event for all Bravo people. And I just felt sick because I just felt like such a sick person. I was like, we're all sick people. Here we are. Everybody just canceled their whole fucking weekend to sit on their computers and just go after these people with pitchforks, right? And I was like, this is just, like, it feels like just rolling around in it. It feels really cynical and gross. And I was like, you are cynical and gross. And this is your shit to roll around in, pig. Get down there. So I did read a lot. I did not post a lot. I did not get a lot of comments out where I was like, fuck them, burn down the restaurants,
Yeah.
Which were a lot of the comments. But anyway, just kind of unfolding that day. So I get home. The traffic circle is not far from my house. Thank Jesus, because Siri couldn't handle my yelling.
Question. Importantly, almost as urgent as the scandal. Does your traffic circle have stop signs in it?
No. I would go out there with a fucking buzzsaw and take them down.
Okay, because in West Hollywood, they have, or just in LA in general, but West Hollywood will sometimes do this. They'll just throw in they'll have a normal intersection and they put a bunch of like pylons in the middle of the intersection to make it like a traffic circle, but they still have stop signs at the intersection. And I'm like, are you dumb? The whole point of a traffic circle is that you have yield signs all around it. So that way you glide into the circle and then you go around the circle to you emerge at your next spoke. As opposed, like, if everyone's gonna stop, then you don't need the circle, right?
It's like Raquel safe. This circle, it's a stupid circle for a stupid fucking person. Okay. Man, you get us talking about traffic circles because I could stay on the traffic circle the whole episode.
Because every time I have to, as I approach the traffic circle, and then I have to stop before I go into this traffic circle. It's like, then what's the point of this being a traffic circle? Right. The whole point is that you're just merging. It's a series. You've turned an intersection into a series of merges.
Right, but mine is very clear. You see all the other roads that are like coming into this traffic circle. You see everybody very clearly, and so people with the biggest, growliest cars literally slam on their gas to get in front of you in the traffic. It's like, you fucking asshole, and it's okay. Well, that actually
a mind fuck, and then you like wind up, and they are a metaphor for Vanderpump Rules.
They are.
What happens is you enter the traffic circle, and then what inevitably happens is if it's the first time in the traffic circle, you're not totally sure which is supposed to be the spoke you get off on. So you usually do like 2 or 3 rounds, and then you're in the wrong lane. Like there's one round where you're like, oh, there was the sign. So you're like, I'll go around again, but by the time you're around again, you're not in the right lane for it, so you have to do it like one more time. That's kind of like Vanderpump Rules. You're just stuck in the traffic circle.
The Vanderpump Rules traffic circle. You get off, and you can be pretty sure that a lot of other people have gotten off there too. A circle jerk, this show. A lot of people have gotten off the same exact stop that you did. So, traffic circles. Yeah, so I get home and just went crazy reading all of this. I did not believe it because the original TMZ story, I don't know. TMZ, they're not known for like posting lies. I feel like they're pretty trustworthy. So I think that in itself was a pretty big blow. And then a couple of our friends, because, we say we like Ariana. Ariana's not calling us for advice. You know what I mean? We're not like best friends. We're kind of like, people. We know each other through this crazy Bravo world, right? So of course she's not going to call, and I didn't want to call her because I know her phone's fucking blowing up like crazy. Mm-hmm. But we know close friends of hers who are texting like she turned off her phone, she deleted all her social media. So that's when this shit is real. Then her brother posted.
Yeah, this was the damning. Her brother and Logan. These are the damning parts for me.
Yeah, so this is the brother post, Jeremy. It's funny to watch people social climb and be so fake that they're willing to shit on people that are supposed to be their quote-unquote best friend, a term that gets thrown around very often around here, all just to come up or have some sort of storyline. This lifestyle in this group is beyond toxic, and I can't work a phone because I'm an old bitch, and I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, all just for clout from a corny-ass network like Bravo TV. Tom is
Wow.
a corny ass network. Tom's a tryhard having a midlife crisis with his cringy band, and Raquel has faked her way to the top, trying to make something of her life, willing to step on whoever to get there, starting with James. Sell out type lame shit. Let's all remember that Raquel was a fan of the show before all this. Does anyone pay attention?
Yeah, and everyone's now calling her Rachel because that's her real name.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for a crap.
It's called me time for a reason, so working out should work on your time.
And you know how I love to work out is with Peloton. I'm a big Peloton person. I literally just broke a personal record 2 days ago. I'm so proud of myself. And the Peloton tread is so cool because it's pretty compact, even though it's like full size. And you get like a really great running or walking workout on it.
Work out when it works for you. Peloton works into your day, not the other way around. You don't have to clear your schedule to work out. And whether you have 20 minutes to squeeze in a scenic hike or just 10 minutes for a power walk, Peloton makes it easy to find the me time that you're craving.
It's so true. It's more than just a bike. It is that treadmill also. It's so fun, okay? It's not another boring stroll on a treadmill.
There are classes for every level. You could try a short scenic hike, a beginner boot camp, or even a power walk to country pop.
No matter where you're starting from, Peloton's expert instructors are there to guide you with contagious energy and supportive instruction to really take the guesswork out of working out.
Try Peloton Tread risk-free with the 30-day home trial. New members only, not available in remote locations. See additional terms at onepeloton.com/home-trial.
Life is short, and it's full of a lot of interesting questions. What does happiness really mean? How do I get the most out of my time here on Earth? And what really is the best cereal? These are the questions I seek to resolve on my weekly podcast, Life is Short with Justin Long. If you're looking for the answer to deep philosophical questions like what is the meaning of life, I can't really help you. But I do believe that we really enrich our experience here by learning from others. And that's why in each episode, I like to talk with actors, musicians, artists, scientists, and many more types of people about how they get the most out of life. We explore how they felt during the highs and sometimes more importantly, the lows of their careers. We discuss how they've been able to stay happy during some of the harder times. But if I'm being honest, it's mostly just fun chats between friends about the important stuff. Like if you had a sandwich named after you, what would be on it? Follow Life is Short wherever you get your podcasts. You can also listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
It's commercial.
You know what's crazy is that we contemplated getting Raquel to come to the Crappies. And by contemplate, I mean there was like a text where like Katie Cazorla, who I guess knows her, was like, should I reach out to Raquel? And I was like, oh my God, yes, that'd be amazing if Raquel came. Oh God, I'm so glad we didn't do that. I'm actually shocked. I'm actually shocked that didn't happen because we have a really good track record of like being really public with someone who then gets into huge trouble on the internet.
I know, it actually would have made perfect sense if you think about our track record.
I know. I'm like shocked that Raquel didn't come, that we never, I don't think Katie ever really reached out to Raquel at all. I think it just sort of died on the vine. But like, that's a little surprising knowing our reputation, our track record. But as this information came out, it was like, I was shocked. I told Dom, Dom doesn't pay attention to this. And so I told Dom, I hope he doesn't get mad that I'm going to put this on the bonus episode. And I was like, oh my God, you remember, Ariana? And he goes, Dom, who doesn't really watch Vanderpump Rules, he was like, oh, is she the one whose husband I didn't like? And I was like, wow. But Dom like picked up on it right away. He was like, oh yeah, I never liked that guy. I was like,
yeah, he's a douchebag. Like he's just a weirdo Hollywood fucking. You want to race?
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I have to say, by the way, I just want to say, my experience with Tom was, I felt similar to you, that I felt he was very preoccupied with sort of like visuals, etc. But I had really nice, fun interactions with him. He and Ariana came to my birthday party once or twice. Then we went to Tom afterwards. He was always super friendly, and I was like, Tom's great. I loved Tom. He was just, he was sort of like a bippity bop, but as a bippity bop, I really enjoyed him. I I felt he was great, which is why I felt really surprised by this. And I'm just so disappointed. And
It was always really nice. It's not like I'm not coming back now pretending like I never liked Tom. I did.
Yeah.
Like, we did like Tom. We always had a really good time with him. I'm just saying he is a typical Hollywood phony baloney.
It's Hollywood, yeah.
Cheeseball. He just seemed kind of innocent with it all.
I was shocked. I was shocked because it seemed like they were it's just knowing them in person or like just not saying knowing them, but just, interacting with them in person. We went to Katie and Walter's wedding. They were there. That was when we sort of had for me, that was like my formative friendship building with them because we were in a weekend all together in Mexico. And they just seemed like a really wonderful, loving couple. I don't know, maybe stuff changed in the pandemic. The pandemic was really hard on people. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to give any excuses. I'm not even going to say midlife crisis. He may be going through midlife crisis, but why should I even allow that out? It's just wrong.
Well, the whole Raquel thing at the whole Raquel event, I remember when Raquel first came on the show and it was like, is this like, one of those kind of all about Eve situations where, sorry, non-gay people. But that's a story about a star, Betty Davis, and someone new comes in. She's real smiley and she just wants to help and she's the best. And Betty Davis starts getting paranoid. Like, this girl's coming after my roles and my shit. Like, this girl's trying to take my life. And everyone's like, no. She's the sweetest. And then, of course, it turns out she's this villainous, awful woman who ruins Betty Davis's life and steals her career.
Right.
So, Lala was one of those, like Britney. Like, I'm just Britney. All I really packed was a nightgown to come to this job interview. She had a similar kind of entrance where you're just like, do you just want to be on TV? What are you doing here? But then really all she seemed to do was stand by the DJ stand or stand behind DJ James Kennedy and not say anything. She wasn't trying to start drama with people. She didn't come off as thirsty.
No, that's what I'm
next year. And then the next year. And I think what happened is she finally got brainwashed by the toxicity of all of these people. It's like she was with James, who was with a piece of shit. Everybody's cheated on each other. No one really stuck up for her with all of that stuff,
Yeah.
It's like she got corrupted or something. I don't know, but I do know this. A lot of videos I've watched this weekend have been Raquel. They've been like, oh, well, look where Raquel was on this date. Look. Oh, Raquel went home with Tom for Christmas. Oh, look, here they are at Coachella, which, by the way, is a trash heap of sin and depravity that no one in a relationship should ever let their significant other go to.
Can we finally put this out here? Like, if you're in a relationship, don't let your boyfriend go to Coachella. Just don't go together and let's just close down Coachella. Do we really need it anymore?
Just close it.
Hasn't it already peaked with Beyonce?
Right. It's a horrible satanic place. So there's videos of her there. Then there was another video of her doing a beauty competition. Girl, now I can see why you came in 15th or 25th or whatever the fuck you came in after she announced it this week on the show. This girl carries out a boogie board. Okay, she's like doing her walk and she's carrying out a boogie board and then puts it down on the runway and gets up on it so awkwardly. It's on the floor, Raquel. Why can you not get up on it? But she's like having trouble getting up on it. And then she pretends to like surf on a boogie board. And then she gets off and picks it up and walks off. I don't know if that was supposed to be her talent. I watched this video, I'm telling you, 30 times. Okay. Like, I watched this like the Zapruder film. And Tom was there cheering her on. So people are like, oh, and look, Tom was in Encinitas or wherever the hell this beauty pageant was. Anyway, the point is I've seen all this video footage of Raquel being a stalker, showing up everywhere that Tom is. Why would we think anything different? She followed James Kennedy around. She was at every single show. She really likes a man who's performing and on the stage, even if they're extremely mediocre at best at what they do. Yeah. And yes, I'm speaking about both Tom and James. They both suck. Let's face it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what it's going to be like for us as recap. Well, for me, I think for you, it'll be easy. But for me, this season so far of Vanderpump Rules has been really great before all this stuff even happened. And I have been really enjoying this like Raquel renaissance. Prior to all the scandal breaking, my view of Raquel was she had been under the thumb of James. She'd been scared. She'd been self-monitoring in what seemed to be a fairly emotionally abusive relationship. And now she finally is her own woman. She's like, she seems more self-possessed. She's her own. She's just sort of going out in the world, being more adventurous and finding her way. And I was like, wow, who'd have thought that Raquel was the surprise star of this season? Like, this has been so wonderful to watch unfold. And it's like, oh gosh, now we have to pivot. And it's like, and now the show is still going to be the same show. It's still going to be presenting Raquel as like burgeoning hero, but like we're all going to be like, fuck her. I don't know. It's going to be so interesting to see how it is. And I guarantee that Bravo is already re-editing the season. Like I guarantee they're at the very least they're throwing in hints of this, of what's to come. They're doing foreshadowing. They've got to be, because there's just no way they can let all the episodes that are already done just stay as they are.
So let's go over they are. And they started filming again immediately. You know, they were like, get Andy in the camera. You know, so they went right back into production, and sources were saying that they were shooting at their house. They had their big breakup scene at their house shot. And they were reporting that Tom was packed his stuff and left the house. But it wasn't his stuff. It was his stuff for his show that night. So he was packing equipment into the car. And
the rumor is, like, there was one rumor, and who knows, because this is another Instagram thing. Oh, I don't know. It sounded like, were you about to go through like a timeline?
Yeah, because I know some people, you know, are not obsessed like us. And so they're like, what is this? Let me listen to Watch What Crappens, and they'll tell me what it is. And we're like literally mad at traffic circles. So let's go through like what actually happened.
Okay. Do you want me to start?
Yeah. That was your intro. Here's Ben Mandelka to start it off. Ben.
By the way, I never got your gallery of screenshots, but that's okay.
Maybe it's under your shared albums. If you go to shared albums in your iCloud, it might be showing up there.
iCloud or not Google Drive?
No, not Google Drive. No, it's through my iPhone.
Okay, share. Okay, share.
It's still not showing up in my computer, so maybe,
you know what? It's all good. I'm gonna just listen. I'm just gonna wing it. Okay, I'm gonna be like at the climax of a rom-com where someone has to like perform to win the hearts of
I'll
someone.
back you up.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So basically, Wednesday night, like just like 4 or 5 days after the Crappies, Tom was performing with his 18-person
band
orchestra.
Yes, his fucking child labor shitty band, where the only people with talents are the people from the high school that he
performing. Yeah, I think the Arco, maybe at Gower and Franklin, but they're performing. Ariana was there, and apparently she went onto Tom's phone for some reason, and she saw
he dropped it. He dropped his phone, apparently, and she picked up the phone and just, of course, as you do, start scrolling through the phone. And Tom had screen recorded a FaceTime call of Ariana masturbating for him.
No, of Raquel masturbating.
So that's what I meant, Raquel. Sorry.
Right.
Oh, my God. I just changed the whole story.
It's a very different story. Allegedly, this is all alleged because this is just what's coming down the gossip. Right?
Yeah, this is
allegedly Ariana. And it is by the way, it is a little weird to be reporting about gossip when it's actually like a friend involved, but like we also have our job to do. So Ariana, I guess she texted Raquel and confronted Raquel about it over text. And the rumor is that Sheena was with Raquel. And
here's why. Because Sheena and Raquel were doing Watch What Happens Live together.
Yes.
So it was right after Watch What Happens Live, and Raquel had given some weird answers that Sheena was weirded out by because they were weird. Hi.
By the way, and today, this came up on Facebook. Today is the 5-year anniversary of Ariana and Sheena being on Watch What Happens Live, and Ariana mentioning our podcast on the show. That was today.
I love how you this whole scandal, the tent poles of this whole scandal for you are the Crappies and when Ariana.
No. In this case, I was saying this because just to show like what a mensch that Ariana is, because she went on to Watch What Happens Live, and she gave us a shout out on a national level. That's the first time ever. And like that was so cool. What a coincidence that happened today, 5 years ago.
Guys, 5 years ago today.
5 years
We
ago,
fell in
Ariana
love.
talked about us.
Yeah.
But,
so
so-
they were on the show together, and apparently one of the questions was something like, who's the hottest Tom? And Raquel said Tom Sandoval, and Sheena after supposedly asked her, why would you, during the commercial break, said, what was that about? Why would you say Sandoval's the hottest? And that Sheena said, God, Ronnie, fucking God bless it, get
You can
younger.
do it. You can do it. You can do it.
That Raquel
Got
said,
you.
well, he has like abs. Okay, like
Uh,
he has abs, so that's why I said that.
Right. And so apparently as Ariana confronted Raquel about this, and Sheena was with her, the rumor is that Sheena hit Raquel. Like, I don't know if she slapped her or punched
Pushed
her.
her
but
up against the wall and then punched her, and Raquel had a scratch and above her eyebrow, which
pushed her against the wall and punched her. Wow. Take the girl
Yes.
out of Azusa. Oh.
yeah. So then Charlie and Raquel's sister. So Charlie is on Twitter, of course, and Charlie Burnett. She's like, at the end of the day, no one deserves to feel this gut punch. To say I'm disappointed would be an understatement. And Kate Couture, who I guess is Raquel's sister, says, nor punched in the face. And then
Wow, you really do have the screenshots. I thought I would do everything. You got Kate Couture's take on it.
girl, and then Charlie Burnett jumps back in and says, you dumb fucking cup fitness, get the fuck off my page before I drag you and your motherfucking sister. Show her this too.
Wow. Wow. Yeah,
that's that. So apparently Raquel got punched immediately, and I don't know if she thought it was going to be cute or what, or like how long they thought this could be secret, or who knew, or any of that. But this
Sheena
cast
punched her like I'm sorry. The visual of Sheena pushing Raquel up against the wall and then punching her. I don't condone violence. It's just funny to think of Sheena being the one to do it. It's just Sheena, you know?
Yeah. Well, the whole cast, of course, listen, this is a reality show, so everybody's going to try and make this about themselves and get as many likes as they can.
And I do want to mention again that 5 years ago today, Ariana mentioned Watch What Crappens on Watch What Happens. Okay, continue.
Also, just in case anybody would like to see the last time Ariana was happy before all this went down, please go listen to the Crappies episode that was just released.
Please. It actually is kind of true. But yes.
So we are now charging $10 to listen to the
$10 to see Ariana smiling and not a trouble in the world.
So yeah, Andy had, let me scroll to this Andy post because it's pretty good. Someone listened to Andy's show, so we don't have to kind of thing. It's one of those posts.
Andy did tweet something like, how many reunions is too many for Vanderpump Rules? And then Lisa wrote back, she said, only one. My heart can't take it.
Oh yeah, Lisa's fucking
By the way,
loving
isn't this week the preview for this week is Raquel making out with Oliver, Garcelle's son?
It sure is. And
She's really going right. I mean, there's that meme. There's a meme that someone sent of death with a sickle going down a hallway and just like murdering couples. I mean, she really is. It's
I know
crazy.
people are like, who's next, Raquel Ken? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Everyone, like, Guillermo, be careful.
So today on Radio Andy, I'm getting this from Brands by Bravo. Also, really, to all the Bravo Instagram accounts, thank you. You know, when the time comes to do your duty, you guys are so good. You're on top of everything.
Killed it.
We follow so many of you. I will follow so many more of you as I find you. But this particular one is Brands by Bravo, who does a really great job. So they did they listened to Radio Andy and then gave us the clips. Today on Radio Andy, his phone was blowing up all weekend. 2, no housewives texted, but everyone on the 42 and under shows were texting. 3 is the best. Jax texted him the most. So that's kind of where I'm leading with this is that everybody, of course, is making this about them. And Jax, of course, is going to now try and get back on the show.
Right.
Kristen Dowdy, who, we like Dowdy despite her problematic past in general. I think that she served enough solid time on the show that I can say, you still part of you hears about Dowdy, even after all the faith stuff. It's like, I still have a major cringe stuff about that. I'm not saying I love her. Don't come burn down my house.
Cringy, yeah.
I'm just saying you read a tweet like this from Dowdy and you're like, yes. Any Vanderpump Rules fan from way back when is going, yes, get her. So she tweeted, karma is indeed coming. So Raquel, just move home.
Yeah, I mean, if there's ever a moment to unleash like the witches of WeHo, this is like one of those movies, those movies where like at the end of the movie, the evil force has been put into a cave and sealed up, and the life goes on happily ever after for all of the world. And then in the sequel, they're like, there's something terrible, and the only way that we can rid this terrible thing is to unseal the mountain. It's like, do we have to uncork the witches of WeHo to take care of Raquel? It sort of feels like that.
Well, they sure did all come out. And then the two biggest phonies, I think, are James and Lala, who immediately come out and start posting. Told ya. James Kennedy posting, hope you all feel as sick as I do. This explains everything.
Okay. This is like this is not a zero-sum game where once Raquel reveals herself to be a shitty person, therefore James is now elevated to being a less shitty person. No, there's no seesaw effect here. When she drops down, you do not elevate. You're still down there too. Like, you're still shitty, James. You're like a shitty person. Okay? She's just joined you in the party.
This is from Lala's Insta. Hold on, let me turn it up.
Hair done, cause I ain't trying to drag these motherfuckers with roots down to my ankles. Thanks for coming, B.
Her hair
feeling so hungry.
Hair done.
Feeling like a lion who needs to feast on a little gazelle. I'm eating good tonight.
Hold on.
Stupid little fucks. My mom is telling me to calm down. I will not. By the way, anyone who's sitting there going, you're a hoe wrecker too. Dude, do you think if I was actually one of those that I would be out in these streets talking the way I'm talking? No, I would crawl in a hole. I ain't got nothing to say.
Do you need me to read all of your texts to Rand's ex that I just read a couple of episodes ago, Lala? Yes, you are a damn homewrecker, and now is not the time. Like, she's literally filled with glee, Like,
also, like, yeah,
it's the glee that gets me, Like, you're Lala. You don't get to roll around with glee over
I just don't think, like, where Jax and James, etc., are acting like they're like totally vindicated. Like, you're not really vindicated.
You're not vindicated.
You guys were still shitty in your situations. You guys were the shittier ones in your situations. Sorry.
And also, you guys need to give someone else their opening night. You know what I mean? You guys have had years to be shitheads on this show, and we're all used to it. And finally, there's a new Vanderpump Rules person who has their opening night as a villain, and you guys are all trying to take the credit for it.
It's a double feature. It is a double dual act. Okay.
Yeah.
Sandy and Raquel.
It's time for a commercial. It's time for...
In the aftermath of a shocking crime, people always ask why. Why would someone do something like that? What could possibly push them to commit such a horrible act? Was it money? Revenge? What makes people like that tick? I'm Candace DeLong, host of the podcast Killer Psyche, where I explain the thoughts, motivation, and behaviors of the most violent figures in history. You may think you know these cases, but trust me, you do not. Using my decades of experience as an FBI agent and criminal profiler, I dig deeper into the twisted psychology of why. Many of the cases covered on Killer Psyche I actually worked on, like the serial killer Ted Kaczynski, the Unabomber, and Dennis Rader, also known as BTK. Follow Killer Psyche wherever you get your podcast. You can listen ad-free on the Amazon Music or Wondery app.
For a Crappens commercial.
so now the other thing that happened is, of course, now everyone is just flooding Schwartz and Sandy's and TomTom negative reviews on Yelp to the point where Yelp had to stop their reviews and everything. And so Sandoval did release a statement that was like, dude, listen, I know everyone's really disappointed and I deserve that. But like, I'm just like one part of this organization. There are a lot of people who aren't famous that rely on it. So please don't take it out on the organization. I'm sorry to Greg. I'm sorry to Brett. I'm sorry to our dishwashers. I'm sorry to Franklin Village. I'm sorry to the people at Gelson's around the corner. I'm sorry to all the Uber drivers. Am I forgetting anyone else?
Super sorry to the vegan ice cream shop down the street. Love your milkless ice cream, bro. Don't quit just because I'm a fuck up. God, is there
Sorry to
anybody
all
else?
Celebrity Scientologist Center. All the famous Scientologists across the street. I'm sorry.
Sorry to the Caesar salad and for adding tahini to it, because I know that might have ruined your rep, but, you know, like, I'm really sorry. I can't think of anybody else to apologize.
Like, you're not going to say one I'm sorry to fucking Ariane. You piece of shit, Tom. You dumb ass.
That was real.
And nice way to throw your entire fucking business down the drain. Because the only people who are going to go to that restaurant now are fucking traders. And don't give me this, oh, there's other people who invested. They invested in your douchey ass. Okay?
Yeah.
And don't tell me Raquel hasn't been hanging around that restaurant every fucking night and they didn't all know what was going on. Okay? So I feel for none of you.
I wonder how that's going to change business. I wonder if it's really severe. Damn, I never went to Schwartz and Sandy's, and I'm not going to go now.
I did go. I just gave it a glowing review. I know. Back. But also, you know, I don't think that everybody should be going on and like writing Yelp reviews. I'm not saying that anybody should do that. I'm just saying don't go. You know?
Yeah, don't go.
Don't go.
And people are also sort of retroactively really angry because Ariana wanted to do her own cocktail book, and then Tom added himself onto it. Danny Pellegrino, who actually wrote the book with him, I'm so proud of Danny because he's been very vocal anti-Ariana. I mean, I'm imagining anti-Ariana, anti-Tom.
He's posting stuff. Danny Pellegrino, like literally the nicest, most charming person on the earth, is like, fuck Ariana, fuck her.
Draws a line in the sand. No, he has been. I was like, that I actually really respect that a lot because that's like a business relationship, and he drew a line in the sand, and that actually takes a lot of guts. So like my hat is really off. It doesn't cost us anything to say fuck Tom Sandoval right now, you know, but like to Danny that could cost something. And so I really respect Danny for doing that.
And then of course Sheena had her podcast about it, and then she tweeted yesterday, "Every morning when I wake up, I realize it wasn't just a nightmare. It's real. Cry face, broken heart. Team Ariana."
Yeah, everyone has come out. Like Stassi had like a baby announcement last weekend. It's like upstaged. I'm surprised that, you know, the only thing that is not more surprising is that Lala did not just get cheated on. Like she was not in a relationship that got destroyed by Raquel like 2 days prior, because Lala's whole thing is that she always has storylines that get upstaged by just flashier versions of the same storyline by other cast members. So I'm a little surprised.
Yeah, I'm not ignoring you. I'm scrolling through all of this, trying to decide. I've got like 100 screenshots, so I'm trying to figure out which one to read from you. I would like to read this comment from Lauren. Lauren Fenda. Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fenda. I read it on the Facebook page. And so it's a stretch, but my love for astrology and Bravo had me thinking, anyone else find it ironic that Gabby from Summer House refused to talk to a guy because he's a Cancer, and her reasoning is that since her ex-boyfriend is a Cancer and cheated on her at Coachella, that all Cancer men cheat. Fast forward to VPR, Tom is also a Cancer, and it started at Coachella.
Yeah, that there was a meme that was going around that was like, Gabby called it because Tom's like a Cancer. Everyone is just like, I mean, this is.
So this is. You want to hear another one? Just tell me when to shut up, because I'm just like random posts.
I'm liking this, and I have to say, I think you also know from podcasting with me for 11 years, I usually have kind of my takes. I feel like I will say I believe this, But to be fair, this is what's going on, and this is what's going on. Da da da. For some reason, I just like to be a completionist on the whole take because I just can't stand when people are like, "But what about this?" So it's like while I'm giving my hot take, I'm also kind of trying to address future responses to it all at once. But I think it's so refreshing to have a really clean cut take, which is that Tom is fucking
revolting. That man,
revolting.
listen, here's what the man has. Charm and looks. That's a lot to be given in a town like LA. Okay? That is a lot to be handed in that town. And, he's used it fairly well, I think, for the most part. But then to just shit on it. To have such kind of that privilege
9
and then
months.
to just shit on it and waste it all. For fucking what? So you would feel a little bit younger for a second? Is that what it's giving you? Because the blowout's not giving it to you. The Hawaiian shirts aren't giving it to you. The fucking porn stash isn't giving it to you, buddy. The singing 3 octaves out of key is not giving it to you. So this is what you do? Fuck off. Okay, so music kills Katie, who is, of course, now Katie... Let me say, I can see Katie reveling in this because Katie hates Tom's ass. You know what I mean? And she's always hated Tom's ass. So when Katie revels in it, I'm like, you know what, Katie? I don't really like you. I've never really liked you. But God, am I ever going to take the joy away from somebody when they get a head in a box on their door? She just opened a box with Tom Sandoval's head in it, and she is just rolling around in poo. She's loving it. Okay, yeah. So she posted this on her thing. Beauty queen in crisis mode. I think this is a Dumois post, I'm guessing.
Oh, is this about the PR,
yes,
the Raquel's PR agency?
Yeah. Okay. So Raquel fired her PR team yesterday, which not so coincidentally
Allegedly.
was the same as Tom Sandoval. Oh yeah, this is all alleged. We have no idea. This is this was alleged to an alleged site. So we're alleged twice removed.
We're just reciting the gossip that's on the internet. We're not saying any of it's true.
So her new team is already on the offensive, crafting a narrative that Raquel is also a victim in all of this, because when she films with Sandoval later today, she's been advised and is planning to break things off with him. To be determined if that happens. The plan is to then go after him on screen, recording the FaceTime session without Raquel's consent, which was uncovered by Ariana on Sandoval's phone and led to the unraveling of events. They're planning to allege that Sandoval took advantage of Raquel while she was at a vulnerable moment in her life, clouding her judgment, then recording intimate videos without her knowledge. She will then go on an apology tour, relaying that she's devastated by what has unfolded and for betraying one of her best friends. At present, Raquel is not taking responsibility. She's more concerned with correcting the record of finger-banging vid than taking accountability for the hurt she's caused. And for the record, she didn't have these ideas nor plans to distance from Sandoval until her new PR relayed their strategy to try and save her image.
Oh, don't like that.
So Katie posted that, and Katie's response is, more nefarious behavior.
Convenient narrative, if you will. Literally the definition of a convenient narrative. Oh, I don't like that at all. I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. It's gross.
Let me see what else here. Oh, God. A lot happened. I mean, there's Real Housewives of Potomac stuff. There's Real Housewives of Atlanta stuff. But we'll stick with this today. So I'm just seeing, what did we miss from this? Did we miss anything?
We may have. It's going to keep on unfolding. I think now the ratings for the show are going to be out of control because I think we're all going to be watching for hints and signs. It's going to become like a detective show. It's going to be like White Lotus, right? We know where it ends, but we don't know how we got there. We're going to be looking for that. But at the end of the day, God, I just feel so bad for Ariana. I just feel so bad. People are saying man, she froze her eggs for him, and thankfully she didn't do embryos with him. But yeah, I just but the good news is,
but look, Ben, we've had the talk. Now, I'm not going to say if you said anything, but I know that I have said to you multiple times after being with those two, why is she with him? She's smart enough to know that he's an idiot. She's not a stupid person. She's smart. Is it because she just enjoys it? He's a dopey child? What is it? I think that anybody who's hung out or watch him on the show, rather, you don't have to hang out with them. I mean, watch him on the show. What the fuck is she doing with Tom, dude?
I don't know. Look, I believe, he is charming. He is lovely in person. He really is. And he probably did care and dote on her a lot. And I think that somewhere along the way, like something got fucked up with him. He did sort of have like I don't know. I don't want to say he had a midlife crisis because that gives like an excuse to all this. There's no excuse, but like.
Well, there aren't excuses, but there's reasons. There's reasons in a story. It's not like someone just wakes up evil.
I don't know. I don't know the relationship very deeply off camera, and I see what I see on camera. I don't know. I can never. I actually thought they seemed good together. I think that like it seemed like he really cared about her and he was taking care of her, and I think we all kind of felt that, which is why so many people are shocked. We were shocked, and we're not shocked like, oh my God, I can't believe all those rumors about Sandoval that James and Jax said were actually true. We're not shocked. We're shocked because we really felt like they were a bedrock couple of not only their show but maybe even Bravo, and it's just wild. It's a wild thing that happened, and to happen to someone, I hate to. This will sound mean. But like if it had happened to Sheena, I think it'd be like, wow. But we would also be like, I think there would be, it just feels like it'd be so Sheena for that to happen to Sheena. But I think the fact that it happened to Ariana.
Well, we've already seen so much happen to Sheena, that it would almost be like you're used to it. You know what I mean?
There's a sense like that Sheena puts her like will look the other way because she just wants to be in love. So then when it doesn't work out, you're like, well, it's classic Sheena. But
it'd be more of a classic Sheena situation just because we've seen it so many times, but it's not just Tom, it's Raquel too, and everyone's saying like, why are we blaming the woman? She's free like a bird. No, don't pull that shit in this situation. Normally I believe in that. Like I don't blame the person who is the fair E or whatever. I think that the person who's married or in the relationship is the one at fault. Generally, I think this. Mm-hmm. But this goes beyond that. This is like this is betraying your friend who you're smiling to every day. A girl who kept you on the show. You wouldn't be on this show without that girl inviting you to places and trying to include you all the time. You know what I mean? Like you actually owe her, like in real life. And you're betraying somebody when you had nobody. Nobody would speak to you. Katie treated you like a dumb idiot and called you a slut constantly. Like all of them I don't remember if she called her a slut. I think she might have. I know she called her an idiot, and I know people are very sensitive right now with my Katie feelings. So I will take that back. But Katie was not nice to her. Nobody was nice to her until Ariana kept it like going and kept bringing her around, and that's what you do to somebody. And this like, oh, but I was hurt and I started drinking too much because she's obviously going for that too this year with her like Katie? Raquel with her drinking too much in the diary room when they cut to a confessional. She's taking shots and then taking, chasers or whatever. And they just show her being wasted all of the time. She's clearly going to go for the like... next season, I had a problem with alcohol because of James. Like she's going to clearly go through that and try and have a redemption season. And I think you just might have overstepped, ma'am.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is like I do have like a weird feeling. I'm like, despite everything that's happened, I do hope that no one that's like in the midst of all of this mess, like engages in self-harm. Like that actually, it has crossed my mind that could be something that happens because there's so much scrutiny happening right now, and I don't want that. I do not want that for anyone. But I think
I do want a lot of remember. I think it's important to remember this is a TV show. We don't know these people.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm saying this like about characters on a show. I'm not saying this about real people, even though I know that they are. But we don't know how much of this is real. We don't know how much of this has been going on for a long time, how serious it was. It's like one thing happens like this, and then people are like, oh, really? Well, I saw them holding hands in, fucking Costa Rica or whatever. And you're like, wait, so everybody did know? How have they kept this out of the press? Like, who's working at that family? Kris Kardashian is the head of the network now. Like, who's managing all of this?
What I want is for every allegation that is true, I do want them to feel. I want them to feel shame for what they've done. I do, but I don't want self-harm. Also, and going back to Katie, I am also intrigued to see how my feelings about Katie are going to evolve over the season because, as I've said on the recaps, I came into this season actually excited for a post-Schwartz Katie, and the first few episodes I was like, ooh, I think I'm enjoying post-Schwartz Katie, and then I felt like, okay, Katie's being Katie, but I'm interested to see how all this mess, like, it's going to inflect my reaction towards Katie, because I'm not necessarily sure that I'm going to hate Katie. I think that I might just like wind up feeling a much more empathy for her now and sympathy for what she has had to put up with for so many years, you know? I mean, well, and that's what I've always said too.
But
which
why
is that,
hasn't? But she already has put up with this for years.
But that's why I
there's
was saying I was
nothing new as
excited
far
for
as
post
Katie
Schwartz.
goes.
Yeah, but that's why I was saying I was excited for like a post Schwartz Katie, because I feel like she will be released and we can actually, you know, she can just be happy for once, you know, because she's been in a miserable situation. And I think I would not be surprised if I'm going to feel that even more, because I think that I'm going to be influenced by this whole situation, you know, but I don't know. It'll be so interesting to see how we recap it.
I don't know, because my opinion generally on people flip-flops over the course of seasons. Obviously, I just go with whatever my gut instinct is at that moment in time, because I've come in like 2 or 3 seasons in a row ready to be like, oh my God, this is Katie's year. Like, I've said it 3 seasons in a row, you know, and then by episode 5 or 6, I'm pissed off again. So I don't know. And I don't really care. It's not about Katie to me. This is like a whole different thing. It has nothing to do with Katie, except for the fact that they're both with best friends who are cheating dirtbags. You know what I mean? But I've said multiple times, like, I may not like Katie all the time, but nobody deserves to be treated like that. I said she shouldn't marry him, and she should have left him a long time ago, you know, and I'm proud of her for, you know, getting rid of that fucking loser, you know? So anyway, just to end this, my favorite post to come out of this weekend, which might seem a little uncool to like love this post so much, but it's page 6. Ariana Maddox feasts on McDonald's and flips the bird after Tom Sandoval split because
Good
no one will
for
stop
her.
following her around. She went to McDonald's in a sweatshirt. The cameras were following her, and she turned around, flipped them off, and you see her mouth wide open going, "Fuck off!"
Good for her.
Yes.
Good for
Good
her.
for you, Katie. You see? I'm brainwashing myself. Good for you, Ariana.
Yeah. Well, yeah, thanks everyone for listening to this bonus episode. I know a lot of people wanted us to put up an emergency Vanderpump Rules podcast over the weekend, but the truth was, like I said, on Friday, I really was not feeling well. So I just didn't really have the stamina, and I just needed a weekend to recuperate. And,
I needed time to process too. Like, I can't, you know how my rage is. If you get my immediate reaction, it's burning houses down. I would have been like, you go to that restaurant with toxic gas and you unleash it, you know. Like, I don't think rationally enough to really even talk about it. So, you know, we needed a second, but we hope this made up for it. And obviously we will continue on our Vanderpump Rules recaps. This week will be a live show in Charlotte. So go get your tickets for that at watchwhatcrappens.com. That's going to be a crazy night, and we know a bunch of you are fired up, so we'll see you over there. In the meantime, we're going to get on to starting our recap week, okay? Leave your comments on the Insta post or on the Patreon post, and let us know what you guys are thinking about all of this. Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch What Crappens would like to thank its premium sponsors. Ain't no thing like Allison King.
Ashley Savoni, she don't take no baloney. Christy Wowardy Dowardy.
Dana C. Dana Do. She's not just a Sheila, she's a Daniela. Itchels. Aaron McNicholas. She don't miss no trickolas.
Hava Nagila Weber.
Jamie. She has no last namey.
Sipped some scotch with Jessica Trotch.
She's always supplying. It's Kelly Ryan.
Kristen the Piston Anderson.
You're never alone with Lacey Monteleone.
Let's give a kisserino to Lisa Lino. Megan Berg. You can't have a burger without the Berg. Sarah Greenwood. She only uses her power for good. Can't stop fanning over Tina Manning.
The Bay Area Betches. Betches.
And our super premium sponsors.
Somebody get us 10 cc's of Betsy MD.
We're taking the gold with Brenda Silva.
Let's get real with Caitlin O'Neill.
Don't get salty with Christine Pepper. Better do what she says. It's Elva Enriquez. Can't have a meal without the Emily Sides. Undo your fasteners. It's Aaron Kastner.
Nobody holds a candle to Jamie Kendall.
She's not harsh. She's Jill Hirsch.
We will, Joanna Rockland, you. My favorite Murdo, Karen McMurdo. We love him madly. It's Kyle Pod Shadley.
Let's go on a bender with Lauren Fender.
She's a good hobby. It's Lauren Hobgood.
We want to hang with Liz Lang. The incredible edible Matthews sisters.
Nancy Cease and Desisto.
Give him hell, Miss Noel.
She's the queen bee. It's Sarah Lemke.
Shannon, out of a cannon, Anthony. Let's take off with Tamla Plain.
She ain't no shrinking Violet Kuchar.
Hey, Prime members, you can listen to Watch Our Crappens ad-free on Amazon Music. Download the Amazon Music app today. Or you can listen ad-free with Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts. Before you go, tell us about yourself by completing a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.